All right. Peace, peace, peace. It's your girl T Speaks. And I'm back with another segment or episode of Understand the Black Experience. I'm your host, T Speaks. My life's mission is to help heal the Black community one interview at a time. Thank you all just for joining us and just for your love and your support. Like, I just feel like uplifted even talking about it. So with that being said, I want to introduce my guest, Miss Almaruthe. She goes by Alma.
Hi.
Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, you did. Almaruthe is correct.
Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna ask you just some questions and just have fun and relax and let's just enjoy each other. Just a chat between two girls, right?
Let's
I
do
like
it.
to-
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about you and where'd you grow up?
Well, I am from Oakland, California. I was raised as a ward of the court, a part of the foster system, and I currently reside in Sacramento, California, in which I am finishing my Bachelor's of Social Work degree at Sacramento State University. A little bit about me. I'm Nigerian. I was raised in a Nigerian British custom household.
Mhm.
And I definitely understand what it means to be a Black woman growing up first generation here in America. And a little bit more about me. I love the arts. I love dance. I love culture. I'm always looking for ways to learn and better myself. A lot of people may have seen me through samba dance. I'm, former carnival queen and even just Afrobeat. So I'm an individual that's always, trying to inspire others, power others. And I also am interning as a case manager, social worker for adults with mental health. So I'm also looking to further myself in my career path right now.
You're so badass. You know, that's all I can say is that, just just your upbringing, and I'm from Oakland too, and just being, a ward of the court and just navigating the foster system and just all that stuff. You're so resilient. You're so resilient. Um,
Likewise.
yeah. Whew. And so you said that you are interning with adults, for adults with mental health issues. Like, how's that going for you? Because I work for Adult Protective Services as a social worker, and it is a beast. It's a beast.
It has its challenges, but I look at it at us adults as all the same. I enjoy it. I love being able to outreach to others. That's why I'm in this social work path, is because I do it. The passion in me to help others is just there by nature. And, everyone has their own sets of challenges, whether they have schizophrenia, they're suffering through depression, and each and every one of us, happens to experience that even on small increments throughout our daily lives. I think that, for those who deal with it chronically, if I could be a little bit of help, then, I love the takeaway of that. It fulfills me inwardly.
Yeah. Mental health is a big deal for us. It seems like even more so now because we have um, the research to back it up. We have years of research, and trials and
Yeah,
tribulations to kind of diagnose people. Like, we have new diagnoses as opposed to what we
yeah,
had, you know what I'm saying, like
yeah.
70 years ago. Um, so with that being said, Ms. Alma,
Uh-huh.
tell me something you want the brothers to know about the Black woman.
See, brothers, I would like for you to know that we're on your side. We love you. We believe in you. That's right, we do. And more importantly, we are capable of depending on you and allowing you to steer our ship. You know, I think there's a huge misconception out there about us Black women that, we're just too strong, and we don't like, to allow the Black man to lead us. And there are individuals who have that challenge, but for the most part, brothers, we do want to allow you to be a man. We love you and respect you, and we've gone through so much, and let's not separate ourselves. Let's continue to be together and work together, especially as a group.
Yeah, that's so incredible what you said, because I feel the same way too. I feel like sisters get a bad rap for being who we are. We know how to support ourselves. We know how to get out there and make the money and go after our dreams and get a degree, get a few degrees under our belt. But it doesn't negate the fact that we don't want and need our men in front of us.
Yep.
In front,
Yes.
So, yeah, I want to just appreciate what you said there. So, okay, it kind of piggybacks. My next question kind of piggybacks on the first one or the second one. What's the biggest misconception that people have about the Black woman, in your opinion?
About the Black woman, I feel that the biggest misconception is that we are incapable of allowing others to lead us.
Yeah.
And, we're very educated, we're very strong. And for the most part, we've been wired that way to, just push through and make nothing out of something. But for the most part, we do, like you said, we want someone, especially our Black men, to be able to get in front of us and be a partner with us and lead us. We don't always like to shoulder the burden ourselves. So I think that is something that is a huge misconception about us Black women that I would like to get rid of.
Yeah, I agree. In your opinion, I feel like most of these questions, Sister Alma, kind of roll together.
Yeah.
I apologize if I sound redundant, but in your opinion, what is our biggest struggle as a Black community?
I think I think that uniting is our biggest struggle, but more importantly, trusting in each other. I find that, because we don't trust in each other, we have a hard time to build and to even build each other up. And also, I would say, as far as coming together in times of, I would like, for example, social justice issues. A lot of times, we go to the protesting and, the simple forms like that, but we are a little scared to go where, it's going to be a financial impact, I think that, like, for example, back in the times of civil rights days, when we had Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, the bus boycotting, the diner sit-ins, all of that really affected the money flow of the economy. And it made people, particularly white people, listen and stop and say, hey, we got to do something. These Negroes are affecting our money chain. That was a part of the fight for civil rights and justice. These days, we tend to do a lot of the same things that we did in the past, but they're not exactly as impactful in today's time when we have a lot of advanced technologies and so and so. We need to, and a lot of times we're afraid to make that move. We're afraid to step on people's toes, but we need to let our voices be heard and, just sticking to, chants and rants is not enough anymore. We got to take the next step. And I think as a community, we're getting there, but at the same time, we still have some growing to do in that area as far as reform.
Yeah. You're really intelligent. I can see you helping move the movement forward just by your mindset and the way that you approach life. And I mean, I'm I'm like you. I'm all about action. Like we could sit here and chop it up all day, but at the end of the day, if we're not, putting our money where our mouth is and we're taking action, then it really doesn't mean much at all. It's kind of like staying in an abusive relationship and telling your abuser, "I'm gonna leave if you hit me again," and they
Right.
hit you again. You stay your butt right there in that relationship. Like,
Exactly.
which leads me to my next question. Why do you think some people stay in relationships knowing that they're toxic or abusive?
I feel that a lot of people stay in these relationships because um, we tend to want physiological and support, especially financial support, and we're willing to lower our standards and, our moral principles and efforts to attain that, and children get reared in these environments. They see that as their example for how to treat a woman, how to treat a man.
Mhm.
And they, when they get out there and it's their time in the real world, they only know one way to work, and it's unfortunately not the right way. And so when they come across something good, they're too afraid to go that route because, again, they only know one way that works. So I think that's the main reason why. And also, another reason is because of love. A lot of people, they don't understand what love is and what love looks like or feels like. And, someone might show them an increment of kindness and they hold on to that. They're too afraid to lose that because they feel that's all they got in this world, all the love they got in this world. So, and again, typically we tend to see it, become generational, just like
Mhm.
generative poverty, it goes on and on and on, unfortunately.
I had to learn that the hard way. Sister Alma is like not confusing kindness with love. Like I used to be like, oh, he was, nice to me. Maybe I can like give it up and then we'll figure out the rest. And then
Yeah.
realize, 6 months down the line that he was just being nice in the moment to get what he wanted. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way. So yeah, I appreciate your perspective on
You
that.
learned. You learned though.
I learned the hard way. Whew.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes we gotta fall flat on our butts to get it, but when we get it, we get it.
Yeah. Um, Talk to me a little bit about like if you want to share a little bit about growing up in the foster care system and how did that support or not support the person that you are today? How did that shape who you are today?
Mm. It made me very resilient, just like you. Growing up as part of the foster care system, I had a real struggle with understanding my identity and who I was as a person. My mother was deported when I was less than 5 years old.
Wow.
I never knew my biological father, so you know that's a whole nother family I didn't have, and so I was very limited on understanding my roots and having a sense of belonging, was always in question, hoping that I'd be adopted. And if I wasn't, why don't you want me?
Mm-hmm.
And again, direction. I think, knowing who to trust, knowing again what love is, what love, the definition. And I had all these questions, but one thing that I never did was give up on myself. If there's anything I cared enough about myself to, push forward and get answers, and not only just get answers, but to take myself to, and I'm still working toward it. I'm trying to work toward a place where I've never been, so that way, if I have a family, I can raise them on the grounds of stability, comfort, love, and importantly, guidance in this world. Especially as a Black woman,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard enough being a Black woman in society, and with all the, for example, the racial trials we go through, like through
Mhm.
seeking employment, through, trying to find housing. We come across all these challenges, and I always kind of wish I had someone to, give me consistent guidance. And,
Yeah,
it makes me stronger, but at the same time, when you're going through it in the moment, in those times, it's scary as heck.
it is.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of want to tease apart your perspective on being resilient
Hmm.
because we have a lot of similarities where we kind of have that innateness in us where we can just keep pushing forward. And like you said, believing in yourself, even when all the odds are against you and when no one else seems to be believing in you, you had enough in you to believe in you. And
Hmm.
so I'm wondering what makes someone like you special enough to receive that love from yourself when a lot of people, some people don't really have that grit. What do you think makes you different from others?
Um, honestly, I think it's just, you know, perhaps, dreams and hope.
Okay.
I have a lot of hope, and I know a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
Um, and, especially growing up in Oakland, and this is before you have gentrification going on.
Hmm.
The background I came from was, there's still a lot of horrible things going on.
Hmm.
And I had common sense at an early age to know this is not what I want for myself. I do not want to end up like that, you
Hmm.
know. And I've always aspired, I've always clinged on to the hope that there will be, something better for me down the line. Um, I also grew up as a person of faith, a
Hmm.
Christian. And so I do believe in God, even though I'm still on my spiritual journey.
Yeah.
I do believe that, God has my back, and he's, not going to let me, he's not going to let me down, and if anything, he's going to toughen me up and polish me and, make me into, the perfect butterfly. So, I just believing in myself. I also look back to my past struggles and my past difficulties and to say, I overcame that. I can overcome anything, and there's people in my same circumstance that are, going through it just as tough, if not tougher. And I gotta be a beacon for them too, because if I win, guess what? We all win.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the mentality I have about it, and I think really propels me um, in motion. When it comes to go getting what I want, and especially putting value on myself. Um,
What do you think are some of the struggles that former foster youth have
mhm,
that the everyday average citizen doesn't have to deal with when they hit, 21 and just adulthood? Because
mhm.
there's a big difference as far as mentality, as far as like
Oh yeah.
emotional IQ, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Resources. So, what is
Right.
your opinion? Speaking from your experience.
It's a lot. It's a lot. When the average person, who even hits 18, typically, they're still seen as a child by their own family, by society. They don't have to worry about financials, where they're going to lay their head at, adult expenses, in order for them to survive, food. Those who have grown up in the foster system, especially like me, I was aged out at 18. So, my age is like the cutoff, for everything. But, I recall feeling scared. I was afraid because, I don't have a guarantee that I'm going to have a family that's going to dedicate, their livelihood to supporting me financially. I have to cause worry about my future more so because, you know, who's going to have my back on situations? You know, it's all on my shoulders as far as what I have and what I don't have. When it comes to, I would even say, like you said, resources. We don't have resources. You know, we have to go outside, hoping that whoever is giving us information is giving us the whole information to be able to, have the resources we need to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even as far as guidance, um, I got into college straight from high school. And even that was scary because, I didn't have anyone or anyone that I know uh, who actually went through the college system to give me advice on loans, how to maneuver through college, what to do in order to, be successful in college, stay in college, right field of choice that is, likely going to, provide you security and comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so much, and it's overwhelming, honestly. If you're a foster youth in that situation, because you don't know who you can depend on. You have no one to depend on but yourself. That's the truth of it. And there's no one that is going to take you under their wing and say, I got you. Don't worry if you mess up, I have your back. Like if you mess up, if you get into loads of debt, there's no one that's going to be able to bail you out, even if it's, just for you to have a place to lay your head at night or so, it.
But you're doing it and you're making it and you're taking, it day by day, moment by
Yeah.
moment. And I always admire people that have come out of such harsh realities as children and were able to, move forward. And even if they don't know what they're doing, they're still making it work for them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's always
Mm-hmm.
just like, it's mind boggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me that, when you get in connection with the spirit and with your higher power, like you can really make some stuff pop in your life for the
Mm-hmm.
better.
That's true. And I will say too, understanding a bit about, us Black folks where we come from, even if you're ADOS and you don't know what tribe you come from, at the end of the day, we are a powerful people. If you look at, all of our ancestors, whether they're in the history books or not, all of them are creators. We create hip hop, fashion, and that alone, that's another inspiration that keeps me going because, as Black people, we are strong. We are born strong, despite all these adverse child effects,
I
we
know.
got going on. Um, Again, we're resilient. We're born resilient.
We're born
So.
resilient. There it is.
Mhm.
So what three things help you stay grounded?
Three things. One, prayer.
Mhm.
I always pray that, pray to God that He will, take care of me, and I know He listens to me, and that provides me such comfort. Um, Another one would be, I would say, escaping by, whether it's road tripping, reading books, just get my mind, out of, the day to day. I like to push refresh and, through learning culture, dancing, it just lights me up and refreshes me. And also being in tune with our community and the things that are going on. I listen to a lot of podcasts, listen to your podcast,
Yeah.
and I like to be mindful and self-aware of what's going on around me. That way, I can stay focused. That way I'm aware of the dangers and I can keep myself safe.
So prayer, having fun, and
Mm-hmm.
being involved in the community.
That's right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those are three amazing things. Um, I know that the time went fast. We're going to wrap it up in a minute, but
Okay.
I definitely got to get some good advice from you. What advice would you give someone who's having a hard time in life?
I would say, take a step back, look at everything that you've been through up to this point, and
Mhm.
how and recognize that you can do it again. You did it before, you could do it again. Believe in yourself.
Mhm.
Look at all your strengths that, the great things about you that, someone were to walk in the room, imagine what they would say as far as the positives about you. Take that, believe that, and use that to propel you forward through your situation. It'll make your situation seem so much smaller, and you'll be amazed at what you can do in those moments.
Where
Yes.
can our listeners find you?
You can find me on Facebook. My name, Almaruthe Condell, on Facebook Messenger, and here on this podcast.
I want to thank you so much. Your story is so powerful and inspiring. And I'm sure that the listeners or the viewers, they'll be inspired by it as well. Like if you can go through everything that you went through and still come out on top, there's no excuse for anybody else not to make their dreams go. I want to thank everybody for listening. If you enjoy this content, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Be sure to stay tuned for future segments of Understanding the Black Experience. I'm your host, T Speaks, and until next time, love you guys. Bye.